All right, hello everyone. Welcome to our reading of Monty Python's The Meaning of Life, their final film together. It's quite a crazy film. If you've seen the film, you'll know that we will be playing a lot of different characters here. There's six of us, which is appropriate since there's six Monty Python members. So I'll just introduce everybody. We have Logan, of course, with his amazing pipe. We have Anne and Angie and John down there with his fish background, and Nicole, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, and then me. My name is George. Okay, so we're going to read this amazing film. Let's get started. The Meaning of Life by Monty Python. Underwater in fish tank, day. Bubbles, seaweed, eddying water, marine jetsam and jetsam of the aquatic world, backed by Rich Nelson Riddle score. Into vision swims one of us dressed as a fish. In fact, all six of us are dressed as fish and are suspended from wires, unseen. A second python, piscatorially attired, swims into view.
Morning.
Morning.
Python fish 1 and python fish 3 tread water. Python fish 3 appears. Morning.
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 Python fish 4 appears after a pause.
Morning.
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 What's new?
Morning. Are you missing?
Python fish 5 and python fish 6 arrive during the consequent pause.
Morning.
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 Well, Frank was just asking what's new.
Was he?
Uh-huh.
I was being eaten.
Is he?
he?
They move forward. Table 5. At table 5, a large creosotish man is eating a large grilled fish. Cut back to the fish. Long pause.
Makes you think, doesn't it?
Pause.
I mean, what's it all about?
Pause.
Beats me.
Loud chord titles The Meaning of Life by Monty Python. Over this title song, The Meaning of Life. Why are we here? What is life all about? Is God really real? Or is there some doubt? In the next 90 minutes, we'll sort it all out. For tonight, it's the meaning of life. What's the point of it all? Or is it a hoax? Is it chicken and egg time? Or are we just yolks? Or perhaps we're just one of God's little jokes. Well, this is the meaning of life. Is life just a game where we make up the rules while we're searching for something to say? Or are we just simply spiraling coils of self-replicating DNA? Is there life after death, or what is our fate? Is there heaven and hell? Do we reincarnate? Is mankind evolving, or is it too late? Well, tonight is the meaning of life. For millions, this life is a sad vale of tears, while the cynical think it's just funny. But tonight, we've sorted the whole damn thing out, and we've even used Hollywood money. So just who we are and why we are here tonight for a change will all be made clear. So sit back and relax and lend us an ear, for this is the meaning of life. Cut to exterior savage landscape day, special effects studio. A savage orange landscape with rushing winds and sands and whistling, howling effects. Strange sounds emanate from the earth, a very Kubrick Ken Russell world. A band of odd creatures are gazing at the horizon, glowing red in the glow of a vast red giant of a sun that takes up 60% of their horizon. It glowers and grumbles, flickering tongues of flame, bursting away and arcing into space. A space-like choir can be heard, a feeling of awe and impending doom.
On a far distant planet, far away in time and space, a small band of semi-intelligent, half-evolved, nitrogen-breathing fish-like creatures helplessly await the approach of a nearby dying star. Swollen into a vast red giant, once mighty sun, its nuclear core spent, approaches them as it cools, vaporizing its inner planets and threatening them with extinction.
Possibly have a very dramatic moment with another sun approaching. Just before it reaches Earth, as the ape-like creatures turn and react, cut to interior television studio set day studio. Kenneth Kendall appears on the screen sitting at a desk.
Hello, my name's Kenneth Kendall. Some of you may know me from reading the 9 o'clock news on BBC television, but today I'm here in a rather different role. On behalf of the producers of this film, I've been asked to warn audiences here there is quite rude bit coming up in the film soon. This is not the first time that there have been rude bits in Monty Python films, but previously these rude bits have been sprung on audiences without any prior advice or warning. It is to avoid the situation, with all of its, embarrassment and misunderstanding from happening again, that I have been asked to offer these few words of explanation. The rude bit in question is a fully exposed frontal view of male genitalia. The producers have asked me specially to say that the genitalia in question will not be suggestively exposed or indeed seen in any state of sexual arousal. They merely will be hanging from the body of an adult male in a normal place, as the doctor explains.
Cut to talking head of doctor. Caption, a doctor.
Hello. We've already seen the rude bit, which is soon to occur in this film. As far as I'm concerned, the scene in question contains a fair, honest, and unsensual representation of the penis and testicles of an average Caucasian adult male. There is nothing abnormal about the size of the penis or, as Kenneth Kendall has already pointed out, anything to suggest that the member is swollen or enlarged as a result of external physical stimuli. Thank you.
Cut to Kenneth Kendall.
Thank you.
Shit.
The producers of this film want to make it clear that they accept that this is kind of controversial scene is a matter for public concern because of the possible effect it could have on individual members of the audience. I have with me Professor Faulkner of the Psychology Department of Manchester University. Professor, do you think there is a danger with certain individuals they may be harmed by what they're about to see?
I really don't think so, Ken, no. I think the average person will be quite unaffected by the excerpt.
Oh, you've seen it?
Yes, I have, Ken. I couldn't condemn it personally.
Might be acceptable for the average person, but what about those less stable individuals? Is there a danger there?
Well, let's face it, Ken. I can't guarantee that somebody isn't going to become completely deranged by the sight of this organ, but that's one in a million. Such a person who would have a long history of mental illness and would almost certainly be already receiving treatment, but for everyone else, perfectly harmless.
Perhaps almost a kind of public service.
I wouldn't go so far as to say that, Ken, no, but there could be the individual cases where it might help.
Well, there are two expert views on the scene that is coming up. But although medical and psychological opinion seems to regard the rude bit as acceptable, there are those, of course, moral questions to be answered. Should a cinema audience in which there may be children hiding be subjected to the sight of all male genitalia, well lit and comparative close-up, facing them in the screen for about 4 seconds? Your Graces?
We see 3 bishops.
Now, what is the church's position on this?
Can I just say first that I think there's a danger that we may be getting in this whole thing out of proportion.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
After all, we all have male parts apart from woman, and I'm sure our Lord himself had some...
He looks to Durham.
I can't say that there's anything morally wrong with the depiction of male, as I would almost go so far as to say female genitalia, provided, of course, there is no evidence of exploitation of these perfectly acceptable parts of the body for humorous or erotic purposes. I haven't seen the clip, but I am assured this is not the case.
Well, now you've heard all the sides of the argument, so it remains only for me once again to warn those of you who may be offended or disturbed by the view of the genitalia that a clock will appear at the bottom left-hand corner of the screen for 20 seconds prior to the exact moment of exposure of the penis and testicles. Thank you. And I sincerely hope that this will not spoil your enjoyment of what I feel is the very significant statement that the Monty Python team wish to make. Ladies and gentlemen, the meaning of life.
To animated caption card. Another simple, elegant, not to say impressive caption card, title, or very brief animated sequence reading The Meaning of Life, Part 1, The Miracle of Birth. Cut to interior bedroom, suburban house, day. A pregnant woman is lying in bed. She's having contractions. A loving husband is there, perhaps preparing a bag of things for the hospital. The atmosphere is homely, reassuring, darkish, warm, and sympathetic.
Of all the many wonders of the universe, of all the many myriad mysteries of nature herself, none can compare with the most intimate, indeed most sacred moment of human life, birth itself.
Cut to interior hospital corridor, day. Hard, very bright lights. Much metallic banging. People rushing about importantly. The mother-to-be is being wheeled very fast down the corridor. A nurse with her slips into a consultant's room. Interior consultant's room, day. 2 doctors are killing time as the nurse enters.
Mrs. Moon's contractions are more frequent, Doctor.
Doctors spring into action.
Oh, good. Take her to a room. The fetus's frightening room.
Yes, Doctor.
She exits. We follow the doctors by a different route from the nurse into the delivery room. Interior delivery room. Nurses are waiting for the doctors with surgical gowns. As they don the gowns, the doctors notice the lack of equipment.
Bit bare today.
Yes.
More apparatus, please, nurse.
Yes, Doctor.
The EEG, the BP monitor, the KRP.
And get the machine that goes bing.
And get the most expensive machines in case the administrator comes.
A lot of apparatus starts pouring into the room. The mother on the trolley comes in between 2 pieces of equipment and gets lost by being packed unnoticed behind some of the machines.
Oh, that's better. Where's the patient?
Nurses go to look for her outside, but she is discovered behind the machines. Doctors go to address her. They always shout to her.
Oh, hello. Don't you worry.
We'll have you cured soon.
You leave it all to us. You'll never know what hit you.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Drips
Drips
up.
Injections.
Bye.
Injections.
Injections.
Can I put the tube in the baby's head?
If I can do the episiotomy,
Okay.
legs up.
The legs are put in the stirrups. The doctors check and then open the doors opposite.
Come in, everyone. Come on in. Come on, all of you. Come on.
A small horde enters, largely medical, but with 2 Japanese people with cameras. The doctor bumps into a man.
Who are you?
Oh, I'm the husband.
Oh, I'm sorry. Only the people involved are allowed in here.
The husband leaves.
What do I do?
Who said that?
The mother.
Mother, I can't talk to you now. I'm delivering a baby.
No, Doctor, the mother.
Oh, good Lord. I'm sorry I didn't recognize you.
What do I do?
Nothing, dear. You're not qualified.
Leave it to us.
What's that for?
Points at a machine.
It's the thing that goes. You see,
It goes bing.
means your baby is still alive. And this is the most expensive apparatus in the whole hospital. It cost over £750,000. Aren't you lucky?
The administrator's here, Doctor.
Switch
They do. Everything flashes and beeps and thuds. Enter the administrator.
Morning, gentlemen.
Morning, Mr. Pycroft.
Very impressive. What are you doing this morning?
It's a birth.
What sort of thing is that?
Well, it's when we take a new baby out of a lady's tummy.
Oh, isn't it wonderful what we can do nowadays? I see you've got the machine that goes ping. That's my favorite, you know. We lease it. We lease it back to the people we sold it to. That way it comes under the monthly current budget and not capital account.
They all applaud.
Thank you. We try to do our best. Oh, well, carry on.
Ah, the vulva's dilating, Doctor.
Oh, yes, there's the head. 6 centimeters. 7 centimeters. 8. 9.
Lights. Amplify the ping machine. Masks on. Suction. Blocks away.
Nothing to worry about. Leave it to us. Here it comes.
The baby arrives. Pause.
And tighten it.
Grab the baby, hold it upside down, slap it, poke tubes up its nose, hose it with cold water. Then the baby is placed on a wooden chopping block and the umbilicus severed with a chopper.
Towels.
It is dried with rough towels.
Show it to the mother.
It's shown to the mother.
That's enough. Sedate her, number the child, blood type it, measure it, and isolate it.
Is it a boy or girl?
Now, I think it's a little too early to start imposing rules on it, don't you? Now, a word of advice, you may find that you suffer for some time a totally irrational feeling of depression and P&D, as we doctors call it. So it's lots of happy pills, and you can find out all about the baths when you get home. It's available on VHS, Betamax, or Super 8.
Mother watches the child disappearing.
But we must never forget that there are still dark corners of the world where ignorance and superstition hold sway.
Cut to exterior Northern Street day, captioned The North of England. Dad marching home. We see his house, a stork flies above it. Dad sees the stork. Oh, bloody hell. Interior Northern house day. A pregnant woman at a sink. Cut to tighter shot of her legs below her skirt. With a cry, a newborn baby, complete with umbilical cord, drops from between the legs onto the floor.
Get that, would you, Deidre?
A girl takes it, mother carries on. Dad comes up to his door and pushes it open sadly. Inside, there are at least 40 children of various ages packed into the living room.
Whose tea time is it?
Hey, Mom.
A toilet flushes. One child comes out, another goes in.
Vincent, Tessa, Valerie, Janine, Martha, Andrew, Thomas, Walter, Pat, Linda, Michael, Evan, Alice, Dominique, and Sasha. It's your bedtime.
Aw, Mom.
Don't argue. Laura, Alfred, Nigel, Annie, Simon, Amanda, Beryl, Barney, Robert.
Wait. They all listen. I've got something to tell the whole family. All stop. A buzz of excitement.
Quick, go and get the others in. Gordon!
Gordon goes out. Another 20 or so children enter the room. They squash into the back as best they can. The mill is closed. There's no more work. We're destitute. Lots of cries of, oh no, cripes, heck, from around the table. I've got no option but to sell you all for scientific experiments. I'm sorry, but that's the way it is. Blame the Catholic Church for not letting me wear one of those little rubber things. Oh, they've done some good things in their time. They've preserved the might and majesty and indeed mystery of the Church of Rome, the sanctity of the sacrament and the indivisible oneness of the Trinity. But if they let me wear one of those little rubber things over the end of my cock, we wouldn't be in the mess we are now.
Some sort of pessary?
Not if we want to remain members of the fastest growing religion in the world. You see, they believe, well, let me put it like this. There are Jews in the world, there are Buddhists, there are Hindus and Mormons, and then there are those that follow Mohammed. But I've never been one of them. I'm a Roman Catholic and have been since before I was born. And one thing I've learnt about Catholics is they'll take you as soon as you're warm. You don't have to be a 6-footer. You don't have to be a great brain. You don't have to have any clothes on. You're a Catholic the moment Dad came. Because every sperm is sacred. Every sperm is great. If a sperm is wasted, God gets quite irate. This is developed into a massive and jolly production number, a la Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, a la Oliver. Children sing lustily in the chorus.
Every sperm is sacred. Every sperm is great. If a sperm is wasted, God gets quite irate.
At the end of upbeat production number, we come back to Dad. So you see my problem, little ones. I can't keep you all here any longer.
Speak up!
I can't keep you all here any longer. God has blessed us so much that I can't afford to feed you anymore.
Couldn't you just have your balls cut off?
It isn't that, Nigel. God knows all. He would see through such a cheap trick. What we do to ourselves, we do to him.
You could get him pulled off in an accident.
Other his balls can be removed. Children, I know you're trying to help, but believe me, I have given this great and careful thought, but my mind is made up. It's medical experiments for the lot of you. Exterior Northern Street day. The children emerge singing Every Sperm is Sacred. They flock down the street, the latest arrival being pulled along on a trolley by its umbilical cord. They're being watched from another northern house. Cut to interior working class house down the street. Children pass the window at regular intervals. Mr. Blackett lets the curtain back.
Bloody Catholics, look at them. Filling the bloody world up with bloody people they can't afford to bloody feed.
What are we, dear?
Protestant and fiercely proud of it.
Why do they have so many children?
Because every time they have sexual intercourse, they have to have a baby.
Well, it's the same with us, Harry.
What do you mean?
Well, we've got 2 children and we've had sexual intercourse twice.
That's not the point. We could have had it any time we wanted.
Really?
Oh, yes. And what's more, because we don't believe in all that Baptist claptrap, we can take precautions.
You mean lock the door?
No, I mean because we are members of the Protestant Reformed Church. With the power of the papacy in the mid-16th century, we can use the rubber devices to prevent the issue.
What do you mean?
I could, if I wanted, have sexual intercourse with you.
Yes, Harvey.
And by wearing a rubber sheath over my old fella, I could ensure that when I came off, you would not be impregnated.
Oh.
That's what being a Protestant's all about. That's why it's the church for me. It's the church for anyone who respects the individual and the individual's right to decide for him or herself. When Martin Luther nailed his protest to the church door in 1517, he may not have realized the full significance of what he was doing, but 400 years later, thanks to him, my dear, I can wear whatever I like on my John Thomas, and Protestantism doesn't stop at simple condom. Oh no, I can wear French ticklers if I want.
What?
French ticklers, crocodile ribs, black mambos, sheaths that are designed not only to protect but to enhance stimulation of sexual congress.
Have you got one?
Have I got one? Well, no. But I can go down the road and walk into Harry's anytime I want and hold my head up and say loud and steady voice, Harry, I want you to sell me a condom. In fact, today I'll have a French tickler, for I am a Protestant.
Why don't you?
But they
He points to the stream of children pouring out the house.
cannot. Their church never made the great leap out of the Middle Ages and the domination of episcopal supremacy.
Cut to animation, exciting music. Cut to animated titles. I wish they'd kept this. The Adventures of Martin Luther in Errol Flynn adventure-style lettering. Cut to exterior latrine window, day. Martin Luther, a desperate-looking, unshaven character in rough habit and too long tonsure, drops to the ground out of a high latrine window. He looks wild-eyed and hunted. He runs off. Cut to exterior courtyard, day. A woman and 2 rather plain daughters are sitting outside spinning. Man arrives breathless.
Mammy, Martin Luther's out.
Consternation amongst the womenfolk. Mamie hurries her daughters inside.
Did you bring the suet, Jaime?
Aye, the suet I clean forgot.
The suet you forgot.
The lard, the fish oil, the butter, the fat, the dripping, and the wool, the grease I remembered. But the suet, aye,
So what you keep up there? Adipose tissue? We're going to have to eat the butterfest out with the suet. Or the butterfat out with the suet. You want for us to eat it on its own?
Mammy, go back and get the suet.
You tripping without suet.
Look out, Mammy, here he comes.
Mammy goes inside shouting.
Suet.
Groans from the girls inside. Martin Luther is at the gate. His ears prick up at the female voices. His eyes flick from side to side.
Where's John?
We don't have one.
No, John, what do?
We eat fat.
And that stops you from going to the John.
It's a theory.
Does it work?
We ain't got no John.
But do you need to go?
You know how it is with theories. Someday it's fine. Maybe 1, 2, 3 days. And then just when it looks like you're ready to publish, we need a new kitchen floor.
Oh, it should be so lucky.
Girls laugh from inside. Martin Luther looks up, alert.
Do you need me cleaning inside?
Today? It's all going fine.
How's about showing me the cutlery?
Martin, I got a woman and children in there.
So there's no problem. I just look at a few spoons and...
Martin Luther starts to go in. Jaime stops him.
Got 2 girls in there, Martin. You know what I mean.
Honest, I don't look at your girls. I don't look at them. There. I put them out in my mind. The necks, the legs, the little arms and bosoms I wipe from my mind.
You just want to see the spoons.
My life, that's what I want to see.
I know I'm going to regret this.
Listen, cutlery is really my thing now. Girls with round breasts is over for me.
Dang. I know what's going to happen.
He goes in. Martin Luther follows, crouching.
Crouch behind you a little, I think.
They go in. Cut to animation. Fat animation. Various leading Protestant figures inventing condoms. This transmogrifies into town and country animation. At the end of this, we return to the Protestant contraceptive leitmotif and hear the words.
But despite the efforts of the Protestants to promote the idea of sex for pleasure, children multiplied everywhere.
Cut to caption, title, or brief animation. The Meaning of Life, Part 2, Growth and Learning. Cut to interior chapel day. The camera pans along rows and rows of schoolboys in the chapel. Over this shot, we hear a man reading the lesson. And so the Midianites went forth to Ram, Gilead, and Hamphezekiah to the house of Gashbil, Bethuel, Bazda. And there slew they the goats and placed they the little bits into pots. The man closes the Bible. Headmaster rises.
Let us praise God. O Lord.
Oh,
Oh,
Lord.
Lord.
Oh, you are so big.
Oh, you are
so
so
big.
big.
So absolutely huge.
So
absolutely
absolutely
huge.
Gosh, we're all really impressed down here, I can tell you.
Gosh,
we're
we're
all
all
really
really impressed
down
down here, I
Down
can
here,
tell
I
you.
can tell you.
I mean, you're so tough and strong, you could beat anybody up.
Especially
Be the devil.
You would smash his face in.
And forgive us, O Lord, for this our dreadful toadying.
And barefaced
barefaced
flattery.
But we are most incredibly impressed because you are so strong and, well, just so super.
Fantastic.
Fantastic.
Amen. Now, 2 boys have been found rubbing linseed oil in the school common. Some of you may feel that our common is not an important part of life at school, but I would remind you that it is presented to the school by the corporation of the town of Sudbury to commemorate Empire Day, when we try to remember the names of all those from the Sudbury area who gallantly gave their lives to keep China British. Oh, and Jenkins, apparently your mother died this morning. Hymn 42.
The congregation rise to sing.
Oh, Lord, please don't burn us.
Oh, Lord, please don't burn us. Don't grill or toast or flog. Don't put us on the barbecue or simmer us in stock. Don't braise or bake or boil us or stir fry us in a wok. Exterior chapel and public school grounds day. We start now to crossfade from chapel to the boys coming out of chapel and entering classrooms. The singing continues. Oh, please don't lightly poach us or baste us with hot fat. Don't fricassee or roast us or boil us in a vat. And please don't stick your followers in a rotisserie. Interior classroom day. By the end of this, we are in one classroom where the class is waiting in an orderly manner, reading or staring peacefully ahead. One boy stands by the door.
He's coming.
Pandemonium breaks out. Master walks in.
Oh, settle down now. Settle down.
His papers down.
Now, before I begin the lesson, will those of you who are playing in the match this afternoon move your clothes to the lower peg immediately after lunch before you write your letters home if you're not having your hair cut, unless you've got a younger brother who's going out this weekend at the guest of another boy, in which case collect his note before lunch, put it in your letter before you get your hair cut, and make sure he moves your clothes to the lower peg after lunch for you. Now,
Sir,
Yes, Weimer?
My younger brother's going out with Dibble this weekend, sir, but I'm not getting my hair cut today, sir. So do I move my clothes down or do I get him?
I do wish you'd listen, Weimer. It's perfectly simple. If you're not getting your hair cut, you don't have to put your brother's clothes down on the lower peg. You just collect the note before you do your scripture prep after lunch. When you've written your letter home before rest, move your clothes down a peg, greet the visitors, and report to Mr. Webber before lunch that you've gotten your chit, and, of course, your younger brothers. Now, sex. Sex. Where were we?
Silence from form. A lot of hard thinking of the type indulged in by schoolboys who know they don't know the answer.
Did we get as far as the penis entering the vagina?
I don't think
I
so.
don't think so.
I don't think so. No,
No,
sir.
no,
No,
sir.
we didn't, sir.
No,
So
sir.
we finished foreplay.
Yes,
sir. I
sir.
think so,
I think
sir.
so. Yeah,
Yes,
yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Well, since we all know so much about it, you can all tell me what the purpose of foreplay is then. Biggs.
Don't know, sir. Sorry.
Crawford.
Was it taking your clothes off, sir?
And after that?
That's not me.
It's Weimer. Putting them on a lower peg, sir. Williams throws a board duster at him and hits him. Weimer cries.
Foreplay is necessary to cause the vagina to lubricate, which would allow the penis to penetrate more easily.
Could we have a window open, sir?
Harris, will you? And of course, to encourage the man's penis to erect and harden. Now, did I do vaginal juices last week? Oh, pay attention, Wadsworth. I know it's Friday afternoon. You're watching the cricket. All right, we'll sit over there.
Sorry, sir.
Now, I'm warning you, boys. I may decide to set an exam this term.
Oh,
Oh,
sir.
sir.
So just. Now, did I or did I not do vaginal juices last week?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Name 2 ways of getting them flowing. Watson,
Rubbing the clitoris.
what's wrong with a kiss, boy? Why not start with a nice kiss? You don't have to go leaping straight for the clitoris like a bull at the gate. Give it a kiss.
Suck the nipple, sir.
Good, Richard.
Stroking the thighs, sir.
Yes, I suppose so.
Oh, sir, heck.
Good. Nibbling the ear, kneading the buttocks, and so on and so forth. So, there are all those possibilities before we stampede towards the clitoris, Watson.
Yes, sir. Sorry, sir.
All forms of stimulation of the clitoris can now take place. Do put that book away, boy. What is it?
Caesar, sir.
Well, put it away. And of course, tonguing will give you the best idea of how the juices are coming along. Jenkins, the bed, please. Now, penetration and coitus.
Jenkins enters pushing a rather plush four-poster.
Thank you, Jenkins. That is, of course, up to and including orgasm.
Mrs. Williams has entered a real corker, nude under a pretty dressing gown.
Hello, dear.
The pupils have ambled more or less to their feet.
Do stand up when my wife enters the room, Carter.
Sorry, sir.
Humphrey, I hope you don't mind. One second. Yeah, I told the Garfields we would dine with them tonight.
Yes, well, I suppose we must.
I said we'd be there by 8.
Well, at least I'll have reason to wind up the staff meeting. Now, wake up, Weimer. This is for your benefit. I've in no intention of going through this all again.
The boys, who have been talking amongst themselves quietly, have resumed attentive positions. Williams picks up a pointer, but from now on, the camera largely plays on the boys' faces and reactions. The boys are no more interested than they were in the last lessons on the binomial theorem, though they pretend as usual.
Now, we'll take the foreplay as read, if you don't mind it.
Of course not, Humphrey.
So I'll start by entering or mounting my good lady wife in the standard way. Penis is now, you'll notice, more or less erect. There we are. That's better. Now, Duckworth,
Sorry, sir.
what is it?
It's an ocarina, sir.
Well, bring it up here. Now, the man starts making thrusting movements with his pelvic region, moving his penis up and down in the vagina thus. And we'll put it there, boy, put it there, on the table. While the wife maximizes her clitoral stimulation with the shaft of the penis by pushing forward. Thank you, dear. Now, as the momentum increases and the sexual excitement builds, what's funny, Biggs?
Nothing, sir.
Oh, do share your little joke with the rest of us. Obviously, something frighteningly funny going on.
Sir.
Well, because it's so funny, I think you better be selected for the boys' team to play rugger against the Masters this afternoon.
Boy looks horrified. Exterior playing field day. Biggs is standing in rugby kit. Whistle blows. Cut to Master kicking off. Cut to Biggs catching ball. Cut to Masters leaping in a heap upon him. A rough, tough massacre of the boys by huge, hulking Masters now fills the screen with hilarious and striking visual images for about 45 seconds, after which a commentary starts.
Perhaps it is here on the playing fields that our youth finds the best preparation for the next chapter in life's story.
Last shouts of the rugger are cut abruptly as we cut to, caption, The Meaning of Life, Part 3, Fighting Each Other. Exterior Flanders day. Cut back to noise similar to rugby match and a scene identical to the one we just left, in mud and bodies all over the place. Now the noises are also augmented by the sound of whistling shells and the thud of mortars. We are in the First World War in the trenches. We pan away from the trenches and across no man's land, where we pick up a desperate squad of fighting men huddled in a shell hole. Cut to a knoll. Over the knoll come the same squad, smoke and shells all around them. Their faces are stained and blackened.
Okay, Blackett, Timpson, and Spadger, you take the buggers on the left flank. Wirtz, Bradbury, and I will go for the gun post.
You'll never make it, sir. Let us come with you.
Do as you're told, man.
Fire, skipper. Oh, if we don't meet again, I just want to say it's been a privilege fighting alongside you, sir.
They are continually ducking as bullets fly past them and shells burst overhead.
I think this is hardly the time or place for a goodbye speech.
Trevor is clearly anxious to go.
No, me and the lads realise that, but, well, we may never meet again, and so...
All right, Blackett. Thanks a lot.
Just a mo, sir. You see, me and the lads have a little whip round, and we bought you this, sir.
He produces a handsome or mulu clock from his pack. Trevor is at a loss for words. He is continually ducking.
I don't know what to say. It's a lovely thought. Thank you. Thank you all. And now we'd better...
He starts to go.
Hang on a tick, sir. We got something else for you.
Two of the others emerge from some bushes with a grandfather clock.
Sorry, it's another clock. There was a bit of a mix-up. Wellicott thought he was buying the present, and Spadger and I had already got the other. But...
Well, it's beautiful. They're both beautiful.
Bullet suddenly shatters the face of the grandfather clock, maybe kills one of the carriers.
But I think perhaps we'd better get to cover now. I'll thank you properly later.
Trevor starts to go again, but Blackett hasn't finished.
And Sergeant Harper got this for you, sir. He didn't know about the rest of us.
He hands over a wristwatch.
Lovely.
A shell bursts right overhead. Trevor flings himself down into the mud.
Christ, right, let's go.
And there's a card from all of us.
He produces a mud-spattered envelope.
Sorry about that.
Trevor pockets it and tries to go on.
3 cheers for Captain Donovan. Hip hip.
Hooray!
Hooray. Hip hip.
Hooray!
An almighty burst of machine guns silences most of them. Blackett is hit.
Blackett!
One final thing, sir. Spadge at the check.
Now, really, this is too much.
Oh, bloody hell. Sorry. Oh, fuck. Oh, damn, I don't seem to be able to find it.
Oh, for Christ's sakes, man, forget it.
The others all look at Trevor after this outburst as if they can't believe his ingratitude.
Oh,
Oh, you shouldn't have said that, sir.
I'm sorry.
You must have hurt his feelings.
don't mind me, Spadge. Toffs is all the same. 1 minute it's all please and thank you. The next they'll kick you in the teeth.
Let's not give him the cake.
I don't want any cake.
Blackett cooked it especially for you, you bastard.
They all look at Blackett rolling in the mud.
Yeah, he saved his rations for 6 weeks, sir.
Made the icing. He bought the hundreds and thousands.
And look at him now. The least you could do is eat the bloody thing.
Hostile murmurings. Shell whistles overhead.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be ungrateful.
Shell crashes.
Let's have the cake and really enjoy it. Come on, eh?
Interior Nafi hut day. Cut to a general giving an address from a stage in a Nafi hut. Well, of course, warfare isn't like that. Warfare isn't to do with cakes and clocks and giving each other presents in the heat of battle. It's about responsibility and discipline and unquestioning obedience to the orders of your superiors. And may God strike me down if it were to be any other way. The hand of God descends and vaporizes him to a small pile of smoking blue powder in a matter of seconds. Cut to a large audience of combat troops who are obviously about to go into battle and are receiving their last pep talk. Their faces register unease. A few look furtively heavenwards. Animation of God's hand retreating back into clouds. Exterior Army Barracks Square day. Pan down to outside of Nafi Hut and Barracks Square, where RSM, whatever his name is drilling the squad of recruits.
Now today, we're gonna do marching up and down the town square. This is unless any of you've got anything better to do. Well, haven't any of you nothing else so you rather be doing than marching up and down the square?
Atkinson puts his hand up.
Atkinson, yes. What would you rather be doing, Atkinson?
Well, to be quite honest, Sarge, I'd rather be at home with the wife and the kids.
Would you now?
Yes, sir.
Right off you then.
Atkinson goes.
I was happy with my little plan of marching up and down the square bit.
I've got a book I'd quite like to read.
Go and read your book then.
Oles runs off.
How everyone else happy to carry on with my little scheme of marching up and down the square?
Sarge?
Yes. What is it, Wycliffe?
I'm, learning the piano.
Learning the piano.
Yes, Sarge.
And I suppose you want to go practice, eh? Marching up and down the square not good enough for you? Right, off you go. Now, but the rest of you rather go to the pictures, I suppose?
Oh, rather.
Right, you go. Oh,
They go.
bloody army don't know what is coming. Right, Sergeant Major, marching up and down the square, begin! Left, 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 right, left.
As the sergeant major marches himself off into the distance of the barrack square,
War, said Machiavelli, is the ultimate state of politics.
interior back projection / process. Cut to an expert who was just being the voiceover. On screen behind him are army march pasts and battle scenes. He has to shout a little over the rumble of the tanks and rocket launchers.
And it is worth reminding ourselves that without war, there have been little or no developments of small pre-packed cheeses.
Background shots of pre-packed cheese. At this point, we iris in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen a French housewife, Madame Yolande Guy Michelin. She translates into French everything he says in an annoyingly high-pitched monotone while preparing a pipperade for 6 without the anchovies.
No great leap forward in the building trade, no holiday camps, no drip dry shirts. All those things and other things too are byproducts of war.
The scene behind him changes to the trooping of the color.
But in the fight for these great byproducts of war, perhaps no army has shown more valor, courage, and tenacity than the British Army, which went selflessly to the 4 corners of the globe to defend a civilization and empire, a way of life that was truly the greatest achievement of the genius of the British people.
La plus grande de la génie de la peuple britannique. Exterior works drift day. Cut to the thick of battle. A Zulu attack on a British army encampment circa 1890. We could even buy it from Zulu, maybe. British ranks are being killed right, left, and center. The camera tracks in over the carnage and picks up an officer who is running from one of the tents to another. He disappears into another tent. Interior tent, day. We cut to the interior of the tent and see the officer arrive. His name is Ainsworth. Inside the tent, a group of British officers are putting on their equipment in a rather leisurely way. One of them looks up as Ainsworth enters.
Sorry, bloody avatars are a pain in the arse. Morning, Ainsworth.
Morning, packing and wash.
Sleep well.
Not bad. Bit into shreds though. Must be a hole in the bloody mosquito net.
Savage blighters, aren't they?
Excuse me, sir.
I don't think we heard you,
It's me.
Ainsworth.
Yeah. Yes, Chadwick.
Perkins has been pretty badly bitten during the night, sir.
So have we. Look.
Yes, but I think Doctor had better take a look at him, sir.
All right, Chadwick.
Exterior Rorke's Drift day. Chadwick dashes off. Ainsworth and Packing and Walsh run through line of assagays and enter Perkins' tent. Perkins is on his camp bed. Interior tent, day.
What's the matter, Perkins?
Bitten, sir, during the night.
Whole leg gone, eh?
Yes.
As they talk, the din of battle continues outside. Screams of dying men, crackling of tents set on fire. Occasionally, an assegai thuds into the tent they're in.
How's it feel?
Well, stings a bit.
Well, it would, wouldn't it? That's some bite you've got there, you know.
Real beauty, isn't it?
Yes.
Any ideas how it happened?
Oh, none at all. Complete mystery. Woke up just now. One sock too many.
You must have a hell of a hole in your net.
Do you think we'd better get the doctor?
Oh, not worth it.
Ah, yes, look.
That's enormous.
Do you think it'll come back?
For more, you mean? Yes, it might. We must get this stitched.
Morning.
Ah, Doc.
Something up?
Perkins had his leg bitten off during the night.
Aha! Been in the wars, have we? Any headache? Bowels all right? Well, I'll tell with this one leg of yours. Yes, yes, yes. Well, there's nothing to worry about.
Oh, good.
There's a lot of it about. It's probably a virus. Give it plenty of rest, keep warm, and if you're playing football or anything, try to favour the other leg.
All right.
Should be right as rain in a couple of days.
Thanks for the reassurance, Doctor.
That's what I'm here for. Any other problems I can reassure you about?
Nah, fine.
Jolly good, then. Well, must be off.
It'll just grow back then, will it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, look, I think I'd rather come clean with you about this. It's not a virus, I'm afraid.
Oh, I see.
A virus is what we doctors call something very small. So small that it could not have gone off with a whole leg. What we're looking for is, I think, and this is no more than an educated guess, I'd like to make that clear, is some multicellular life form with stripes and huge razor-sharp teeth about 11 foot long and of the genus Felicius horribilis. What we doctors, in fact, call a tiger.
A
Tiger.
tiger. Exterior Rorke's Drift day. Cut to exterior. Everyone engaged in battle, including the Zulus, breaks off and shouts in horror. A tiger?
A tiger?
Tiger?
Zulus run off. Interior tent. Cut back to the interior tent. They all look up as there is a knock on the door. An RSM who is pincushioned with assagays enters. As he does so, we may or may not notice a cross-legged Indian outside, lowering a small piece of front door with knocker attached. The attack's over, sir. The Zulus have retreated.
Really good.
Quite a lot of casualties, sir. C Division wiped out. Signals gone. 30 killed in F Section. I should think about 100. 150 men altogether.
Yes, yes.
I haven't checked the final figures. There's a lot of very seriously wounded in the compound.
Yes, yes. Look, it's just that we have a bit of a problem here. One of the officers has lost a leg.
Oh, no, sir.
Probably a tiger.
Oh, dear.
Imo thinks there's a chance of stitching it back on if we can find it quickly.
Right, sir. I'll organize a party right away, sir.
Yes, that's a jolly good idea. We could have some nuts and paper hats and I know, we'll put the names of famous people on everyone's back so they had to guess.
No, a search party, sir.
Oh yes, much better idea. We'd better organize it straight away.
Exterior Rorke's Drift Day. Ainsworth leads the RSM out into the compound. Dead British bodies of the other ranks are everywhere. Ha! Sorry about the mess, sir. We'll get it all cleared up, sir, by the time we get back. They walk through the carnage. Orderlies are cheerfully attending to the equally cheery wounded and the only slightly less cheery dead. Some look up as Ainsworth and the RSM pass by.
We showed them, didn't we, sir?
He gives a thumbs up and dies.
Isn't this fun, sir?
Yes. Good.
You know, all this killing, the bloodshed, bloody good fun, isn't it, sir?
Yes.
He waves and moves on.
Morning, sir.
Nasty wound you got there, Potter.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Better than staying at home, sir. At home, if you kill someone, they arrest you. Here, they give you a gun and show you how to do it.
Surely good.
I mean, I killed 15 of them buggers today. Now in Civvy Street, they'd hang me for it. Here, they give me a medal.
Good joke.
Ainsworth and RSM move on. The RSM during the proceeding has been enlisting men for the search party. Exterior jungle. Fade up on thick jungle. The search party for Perkins' leg are passing through. The jungle is dense and the atmosphere is threatening. The men beat the undergrowth. They keep reaching into thickets and finding legs, usually British colonial legs with alket socks and well-polished shoes, which they keep bringing to the MO. The MO is walking beside Perkins' litter. The MO shakes his head and they throw the legs back into the jungle.
How are you feeling, old man?
Incredibly randy.
What?
Well, bouncing up and down like this.
A cheery cockney comes up with a big black leg.
Don't be silly, chatter. Put it back. Don't waste my time.
Yes. All this jigging about, it's like being on a bus.
On a bus?
Yeah, it's one of those country roads where they're all making the road up.
Packingham Walsh, who is leading the expedition, suddenly throws out his arms to stop everyone and gives a shriek.
Oh.
Everyone stops. Oh, I shat myself.
In the bush.
Guns are leveled and there is a fusillade of shots. A pause as they stare intensely. A tiger's head and upper body now appears, rising up out of the thicket with its paws up. Pause. The hunters eye each other. The tiger's rear end now appears backing itself out of the thicket a little way away. For a moment, it looks like a very long tiger.
Steady, men. God, it's huge.
The rear end turns and speaks.
That's me. Don't
Yeah.
shoot. We're not a tiger. We're just... What? Why are you dressed as a tiger? Oh my. Isn't it absolutely beautiful today?
Isn't it capital?
Answer the question. Oh, it's just,
Actually, we're dressed like this because... No, that's not it.
we did it for the lark. Part of a spree. High spirits. Simple as that.
Nothing more to it. All stare. Well, actually, we're on a mission for British intelligence. There's a pro-Soviet Maharaja.
No.
No.
No. We're doing a chariot.
Forget about the Soviets. It's a new campaign to make sherry for the cinema. Only the film crew ran off and just left us here.
I'm so sorry, I lost my spot.
I'm supposed to sing a jingle.
Thank you. We're supposed to sing a jingle. The machete is a real treat. Even tigers prefer it to meat.
It's going to be tested in selected areas before it goes national.
Oh, it's not very likely so. It's not very, oh man. Only it's not a very likely story, so we've heard you coming and we hid rather than have to explain.
That was it. Pause.
All right. We're dressed as a tiger because he has an aunt who did it in 1931, and this is the 50th anniversary.
No, we're doing it for a bet.
God told us to do it.
To tell the truth, we are completely mad. We are inmates of a Bengali psychiatric institution, and we escape by making this skin out of old cereal packets.
Doesn't matter.
What?
Doesn't matter why they're dressed as a tiger. Have they got my leg?
Good thinking. Have you?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Have you got his leg?
How do you mean?
It's perfectly simple.
No, it isn't.
It is. Actually, yes. It's because we were thinking of training as taxidermists, and we wanted to get a feel of the animal point of view. Shut up. Look, we're just asking you if you have this man's right leg.
Pause.
If you took it.
A wooden leg.
No, a proper leg. Look, he was asleep and someone or something removed his leg.
Without waking him up?
Yes.
We don't believe you.
We found the tiger's skin in a bicycle shop in Hyderabad, and the owner wanted it delivered to Nagoon. So we said, shut up. Now you have to get his leg or not. Yes.
No. No.
No. Why did you say yes?
I didn't.
I'm not talking to you. Search the thickest.
Oh, come on. Do we look like the sort of men who'd creep into a camp at night, steal into someone's tent, tissue type them, give them an anesthetic, amputate the leg, and run off with it?
Search the thicket.
Oh, leg. You're looking for a leg. I think there is one in there, actually. Somebody must have abandoned it here, knowing you were coming after it. We stumbled over it, actually, and wondered what it was. They'll be miles away by now, and I expect we'll have to take all the blame.
Oh, I think I heard something.
During this last exchange, a native turns and leers at the camera while the dialogue continues behind him. Then he unzips his body to reveal a fully dressed white announcer in dinner jacket and bow tie underneath.
Welcome to the middle of the film.
Cut to superb, amazing animation title sequence announcing the middle of the film. Upbeat music. Interior TV studio set, day. Cut to a lady presenter at desk with flowers.
Hello and welcome to the middle of the film. This is a bit halfway through the film, equidistant from the beginning and the end, or as near as makes no difference when we take time off to discuss your personal and private problems. Too often the film industry is accused of irresponsibility or just not caring, but in this film we have the services of an international panel of stars who have consented to give their services and advice totally free on all matters pertaining to modern cinema. And our first question from you, the audience, comes from a couple in a row Z. Don't all turn around now, please. These problems are confidential and will be treated as such. Their problem is quite a simple one. They write, in many cinemas today, the air is very hot, but also very dry. And both of us, names supplied, find that we develop an ugly red rash during the cinema going process, which can be painful and embarrassing. We have been told it's all psychological. Others would say we should sit further forward. What does the international panel think? Well, first, we went to New Mexico to talk to Clint Eastwood about this.
Exterior New Mexico, day. Well, I was very sorry to hear that these two have a problem with the heating in cinemas. All I can say is...
"5 minutes, Mr. Eastwood."
that all buildings are different, and if the heating system at their local cinema is problematic, perhaps the answer is to try another cinema, where they may find the temperature control more satisfactory. Interior TV studio set, day.
Robert Redford in Hollywood.
Exterior Hollywood, day.
Well, no one likes to have a rash. They can be irritating and embarrassing. And obviously, if it interferes with their cinema going, it's bad for us. It's bad for them. It's bad for the seats. I would suggest that that they spoke to an assistant manager of the cinema, not the manager, obviously, because he'll be very busy. Speak to the assistant manager and ask if there's a heating duct or a radiator of any kind near to row Z. If indeed there is, then our friends could perhaps move away. But if it's a thermostat controlling the entire theater area, then this should be examined by the assistant manager to make sure it's operating efficiently and not causing discomfort owing to the fault of the equipment.
Interior TV studio set day.
Oh, thank you, Bob. Good advice there. Now to Switzerland, where Julie Andrews gives her advice.
Exterior Switzerland day.
I agree with Bob. If there is a recurring skin problem, and God knows none of us enjoy having a skin rash, if these people are regular patrons, then I think they should put their heads together with the assistant manager. And I agree with Bob, don't bother the manager over himself over a problem like this, and try to work something out together. Believe me, I know the problem. When I was filming The Sound of Music, I had a red...
Interior TV studio set day.
Thank you, Julie, Bob, and Clint. I hope this solves the problem of Ken and Julia. Well, we're almost at the end of the middle of the film now, and time for a screen test. This is the moment where we, the filmmakers, throw our screens open to you, the public, and invite you to come and display your talents on the big silver screen alongside some of your great heroes. Our first entrant is Mr. Kirby from Harrogate, and he does bird imitations.
Photo insert, still photo of Mr. Kirby.
Here he is in a scene with Charles Bronson.
Cut to a steamy deep south farmhouse day. Birds chirruping. Suddenly the door is smashed and hacked to splinters with an axe. Bronson stands there. Bronson's lip curls contemptuously as he looks around. He wears old trousers roughly tied up with a belt and a sweat-stained dirty vest. He is sweating profusely. He glares around, then steps out into the veranda. His eyes narrow. He walks slowly down the steps. He ventures out onto the sun-baked patch in front of the house. He squints his eyes against the heat of the sun. Cautiously, he looks around the barn, the horses in the corral, the well, the outhouses. Suddenly, his eye catches something. He walks stealthily but determinedly towards a water butt. As he gets to it, we see a figure crouching behind it. It is Mr. Kirby. Bronson lifts him bodily up into the air and smashes him with his fist, sending him reeling across the farmyard into the water trough. The bird noises stop. Bronson listens. Cut back to the presenter. Interior TV studio set day.
And our second young hopeful this evening is Dorsey Weissman from Highgate.
Photo insert, photo of young, rather plain Jewish girl.
Dorothy's ambition is to appear in a blue film.
Interior seedy bedroom day. Cut to black and white, 8mm, a rather seedy bedroom.
I said a new film. Really, I did. Oh, please. My father works in a bank.
She disappears under a mound of heaving flesh. Interior TV studio set day.
And finally, the middle of the film proudly presents Find the Fish, in which we invite you, the cinema audience, to guess where the fish is in the following scene. If you think you know, don't keep it to yourself. Yell out so that all the cinema can hear.
Exterior interior country house day. Cut to a magnificent panorama of an English country house, splendid and elegant. We track slowly in through its massive windows to a very strange scene. A man with a big bow in his hair is sitting suspended in midair by the fire. In the fire is a man crouching, doing impressions of fire quite badly. The woman wears a corset and stockings, but her face is blacked up with a white sambo mouth. She is doing Chinese exercises. All the furniture is the wrong size. I wonder where that fish has gone.
I love it so. You looked after it like a son.
And it went wherever I did go.
Is it in the cupboard?
Yeah. Yes. No.
Wouldn't you like to know? It was a lovely little fish.
And it went wherever I did go.
It's in the radio.
During the remainder of the scene with the man and woman, there are continuous shouts from the audience. Look under the table, his trousers. Shut up, I can't hear the film. Go and shout outside, be quiet. Look, her bag is part of the film. No, it isn't. Look in the cupboard. Try the fishbowl. Shut up.
Where can that fish be?
Have you thought of the drawers in the bureau?
It is a most elusive fish.
And it went wherever I did go.
Oh, fishy, 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 fish.
Shh, fish, fish, fishy. Oh,
Oh, fishy, 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 fish.
that went wherever I did go. Interior TV studio set day. Cut to presenter.
Excuse me. Well, that's all we have time for. Find the fish.
Where was it?
In the middle of the film, we'll be having another look.
Where was the fish? I have a right to know.
Doesn't matter where the fish was.
I just want to know where it was.
General murmurs of agreement from other members of the audience, as well as shouts of "Shut up and sit down."
So, from me, it's toodaloo, and now on with the film proper.
Music. Cut to film. Exterior underwater and fish tank day. Pythons as fish, as in scene 1.
There are the fish.
There they are.
Cut to our fish in the tank, 5 of them.
That was terrific.
Great.
Best bit so far.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Terrific, yeah.
Terrific.
Yeah.
Terrific, yeah.
Whistling more. Pause.
Hasn't been much about the meaning of life so far, has there?
No, not much.
Not much.
Much.
Well, it's building up to it, isn't it?
Has it?
Yeah, it'll be starting any moment now.
Personally, I doubt very much whether there'll be anything about it at all.
Come on. Of course there will. It's just coming up, I expect. Yeah.
They swim around a bit.
Not much happening at the moment, is there?
What'll the next bit be?
Caption, I expect.
Well, the next stage of life.
Yeah, the life cycle.
Middle age.
Lovely.
Pause.
Leaving a bit long, aren't they?
Caption, middle age. Oh, there you are.
There you
We
are,
were
yes,
right.
yes,
Told
you're
you
right,
told you so.
Yes, yes. Interior studio. Screen goes black. We hear various clangs and crashes as of doors sliding back. We make out dim shadows and hear the occasional, ooh, oh, hey. Suddenly a door swings back and light floods the street. Interior, a garishly decorated modern hotel bedroom. Day. With a view of city skyscrapers outside. 2 figures come in. Reveal it's a man and a woman, Mr. and Mrs. Hendy. They are in up-to-date, bland American international clothes.
Oh, that's marvelous. Look at that view.
The poolside is open for lunch, or if you prefer a full a la carte, ring 24 for reservation in the Tutankhamun restaurant.
Oh, thank you. That's wonderful.
They stand at the window.
Oh, look at this, darling.
He presses a button. The entire city skyscraper landscape disappears and is replaced by a snowscape,
Oh.
glaciers, and lakes and mountains.
Oh, that's wonderful. I love Canada.
Me too, darling. I love everything.
Me too.
Phone rings. Mr. Hendy answers.
Hello. Yes. Oh, yes. No, we haven't eaten yet. Yes. Oh, wow. Really? Oh, that's marvelous. Yes. Wow, thanks.
What's that, darling?
Apparently there's been an outbreak of cholera in the hotel,
Oh, no, that's too bad.
but they don't think we'll have any problem
Oh, that's good.
because we haven't eaten here yet. They just rang up to warn us.
Why, that's marvelous.
Isn't that so nice? It was a nice girl at reception.
I think that's real hard luck to get a cholera outbreak in a place as nice as this.
That's what I think. But she says the victims are all going to get really well looked after, and the ones that are that live are going to be given a free vacation at any Super Inn hotel anywhere in the world.
Oh, that's really nice.
She even told me that what to avoid on the menu. Most of the meat is contaminated, but if we stick to the cheeseburger, we'll be fine.
Well, I wasn't really hungry myself.
Me neither. Well, I could use a shower and a freshen up, and then maybe we could go and explore a little.
That sounds great. I'll just empty out the contents of my handbag and I'll have a look. And have a look through, okay?
That's a great idea.
He goes into the bathroom. She looks through her handbag, humming tunelessly. Then she plays around with various awful mock gadgets, bits of every period of furnishings. She ums and ahs and really appreciates it all. Sound of water running, then being turned off. Husband reappears.
Feel better?
Yeah, they have 2 showers, you know that?
2? That's great.
Yeah. There's a dead guy in one of them, but I can still take a shower.
Well, that's good.
You know, they really take trouble here. You know, that guy who was dead and obviously had been stabbed a lot, and you know how some places would have just left him there bleeding all over the place?
Yeah, right. Some hotels would.
Well, here, he's been all gutted and sewn up, and he's in a plastic bag, and there's a little note with it.
He hands her a note.
Look at that.
We are sorry that you have a corpse in your bathroom. We will do all we can to have him removed by nightfall. Have a nice day. That is what I call service.
Me too. What's in your bag today, honey?
Oh, just the usual things. Pocketbook, powder case, couple of sticks of eyeshadow, packet of gum, diary, 38 tampons.
38 tampons?
Yeah, I was given a couple of boxes free when we checked in.
Oh, that's real nice.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Real kind. I was just signing my name. When she said, "How old are you?" I said, "I'm 46. She said, "You still menstruating?" I said, "Sure."
Right.
She gave me these little boxes. Compliments of the super inn. Look at that. Isn't that cute?
Have a nice month. Oh, that's real good.
Yeah, I love this place.
Me too. Let's take a walk, shall we?
Interior hotel lobby day. Cut to the hotel lobby. Busy, efficient men with walkie-talkies mingle with lost guests and porters. Our couple emerge from the elevator. They stand in their ill-fitting plastic clothes awkwardly on the polished floor. A girl in a piled-up wig and full crinoline and clipboard approaches them. She wears a plastic button. Milady Jolene.
Ah, how are you?
Oh, we're just fine.
Well, that's good.
How's the cholera problem coming on?
Oh, just fine. I think we got it licked.
That's great. Because it's a real nasty thing to have happen in a hotel.
Right. Cholera's no fun. Why did you know that in the 19th century, cholera accounted for 12 million deaths in Europe alone?
Is that so? Oh.
Right. So you can see how keen we are to get it here. Right now, we need cholera like a hole in the head.
Right.
So, what sort of food you like to eat this evening?
Well, we sort of like pineapple, don't we?
Yeah, we really love pineapple.
Anything with pineapple is great for us. Huh?
Well, how about the dungeon room?
That sounds fine.
It's real Hawaiian food in a medieval English dungeon atmosphere.
That sounds fine.
Cut to interior restaurant day. The restaurant. Dark, full of torture instruments, stocks, chamber of horror stuff. They sit down. A waitress dressed in a grotesque travesty of a beef eater's outfit, all black tights and cleavage, comes up.
There we go. Hello, I'm Diana. I'm your waitress for tonight.
I'm Mr. Hendy.
I'm Mrs. Hendy.
And we're your guests for tonight.
Where are you from?
From 259.
Where are you from?
I'm from out those doors over there.
Right.
Great.
Here's your iced water,
Oh, thank you.
coffee,
Thank you very much.
TV.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, that's real nice.
Waitress dumps a TV down on the table.
Me too.
Ketchup.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
She puts ketchup on the table.
Oh, thank you.
Telephone.
Telephone?
You can phone any other table in the restaurant after 6.
Oh, that's great.
Stop.
Some choice.
Right.
Okay, do you want any food with your meal?
Well, what do you have?
Well, we have those things shaped like in that green, or we have things shaped in like this brown.
What do you think, darling?
Well, it is our anniversary night.
Yeah. Oh, what the hell? We'll have a couple of things shaped like that in brown, please.
Fine, sir. Thank you. 2 brown, number 259. All right, and will you be having intercourse tonight?
Do we have to decide now?
It's a nice idea. Lovely. Why not?
Yeah, right. Could be fun.
Like in any way?
No, we're a Protestant couple.
He takes out a condom and slaps it on the table.
That'll be $15 extra.
Well, it's too late to change now.
Right.
She tears off the check and sticks it under the television on the table.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome.
She leaves.
I love it here.
Me too.
Right.
A long pause as they sit smiling vacantly. Then they look up as a wine waiter-like figure appears.
Good evening. Would you care for something to talk about?
He hands them each a menu card with a list of subjects on it.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Right.
Our special tonight is politics.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
Oh, what's this here?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's football. You can talk about Eagles versus Dodgers game Saturday, or you can reminisce about the great World Series games.
No.
What's this one?
That's philosophy.
Is that a sport?
No, it's more of an attempt to construct a viable hypothesis to explain the meaning of life.
Interior fish tank day. Cut back to fish and tank. There's one less of them. They prick their fins up. Interior restaurant day. Cut back to Hendy's in restaurant.
Yeah, sure. That would be interesting. Would you like to talk about the meaning of life, honey?
Sure, why not?
Philosophy for two.
Right.
Room.
259.
Waiter marks bill, tears it off, and puts it under the TV and is about to go.
Excuse me. How do we?
Oh, you want me to start you off?
Oh, we'd appreciate that.
Right.
Okay. Do you ever wonder just why you're here?
They look at each other.
Well, we went to Miami last year and California the year before that, and we've done most of.
No, I mean why we're here on this planet.
Oh no.
Have you ever wanted to know what it's all about?
Mr. Hendy looks at Mrs. Hendy a little uncertainly.
Nope.
Well, throughout history, there have been men and women who have tried to find the solution to the mystery of existence.
Great.
And we term such people philosophers.
That's what we were talking about.
Right.
That's neat.
Well, you look as though you've got the idea, so why don't I leave you these 2 conversation cards? They'll tell you a little about philosophical method, names of greats.
What's philosophical?
It's an adjective from philosophy.
Oh, right. Like a windy day?
Oh.
You've got it. So here you are. Hope you enjoy your conversation.
He leaves.
Thank you.
He's cute.
They sit and look at the cards, then rather formally and uncertainly, Mrs. Hendy opens the conversation.
I didn't know Schopenhauer was a philosopher.
Why, sure. He's the one that begins with S.
Oh, yes.
Oh. Like Nietzsche.
Does Nietzsche begin with an S?
There's an S in Nietzsche.
Wow, yeah. Do all philosophers have an S in them?
I think most of them do.
Wow. Does that mean Selena Jones is a philosopher?
Yeah. Maybe she is. She sings about the meaning of life.
Yeah. But she doesn't write her own material, I don't think.
Maybe Schopenhauer writes her material.
No, I think it's Burt Bacharach
There's no S in Burt Bacharach.
or Hal David.
Who's Hal David?
He writes the lyrics. Burt just writes the tune.
Oh,
Long pause. Mr. Hendy eventually raises his hand.
waiter.
The conversation waiter comes over.
Yes, sir?
This conversation isn't very good.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir. Would you like to try something else? We do have today a conversation which is not on the menu. It's a sort of specialty of the house, you understand. And this involves two people talking to one another about themselves very sincerely.
Yeah.
I mean, really talking, revealing all their innermost feelings to each other, stripped bare of hypocrisy and evasion, lies and half-truths.
I don't think we'd like that.
No.
Okay, well, there's show business, insurance, live organ transplants.
Live organ
Ooh.
transplants. What's that?
Cut to caption, middle age part 2, live organ transplants. Interior suburban house composite day. Cut to a suburban present day house interior. They possibly all have Rasta haircuts. A doorbell chimes, ding dong. I'll get it there. He opens the door. Two big rough men stand outside.
Hello. May we have your liver, please?
My what?
Your liver, like a large glandular organ in your abdomen. It's reddish brown and sort of.
Yes, I know what it is, but I'm using it.
On, sir. Don't think much about.
They move in. Hey! They shut the door behind him. The first man grabs at his coat, rather roughly pulls out a wallet, ruffles through it, casting aside papers, etc. He doesn't want.
Aha! What's this then?
It's a liver donor's card.
Dead right. Your hour has come, sonny boy.
Look, I can't give you it now. It says in the event of death.
Listen, no one who has their liver taken out by us survives.
The second man is ruffling around in a bag of clinking tools.
Just lie down. It won't take a minute.
The man is laying on the dining room table, and second man scrabbles in the bag, producing a saw and some knives. At that moment, kitchen door opens.
What's going on?
He's donating his liver, madam.
They start operating. Screams from the man. We don't see what's going on, but second man keeps delving in the stomach and pulling bits out.
This is because he took out one of those silly cards.
That's right, madam.
Oh, God.
Typical of him. He goes down to the public library, sees a few signs, signs up, comes home all full of good intentions. He gives blood, he does cold research, all that sort of thing. What do you do with them all anyway?
They all go to saving lives, madam.
My God.
That's what he used to say. It's all for the good of the country. Do you think it's for the good of the country?
I don't know, madam. We just do the job, you know?
You're not doctors then?
Oh, blimey, no.
The second man grins and raises his eyes as he digs around in the unseen stomach. A head comes around the corner. It's a young man.
Mom, Dad, I'm off. See you at 7.
Righto, son. Do you want some tea?
Oh, that would be nice, yeah.
She takes him into the kitchen, shuts the door. She bustles about preparing the tea.
You know that, he has to be dead by the terms of the card before we can take the liver.
I told him that, but he never listens, silly man.
Well, I wondered what you were thinking of doing after that. I mean, will you stay on your own, or is there anyone else sort of on the horizon?
Oh, me? No, I'm too old now. I'm past my prime.
Not at all. You're a very attractive woman.
Well, I'm sitting in on thinking of getting bitched up again.
Sure.
Sure.
Can we have your liver then?
Last scream from outside. Shout for man 2.
He's donated it.
No, I don't want to die.
Oh, go on. There's nothing to it. It's perfectly natural.
I'd be scared.
Oh, listen to this.
A man in evening dress emerges from behind the fridge which he's been mending. Whenever life gets you down and things seem hard and tough, and people are dark or unpleasant or bad, and you feel that you've had quite enough. He starts to sing. The lady looks embarrassed at first, then she relaxes and begins to dream. The back of the house falls down whilst we drift away into outer space. Exterior outer space. Remember that you're standing on a planet that's revolving at 900 miles an hour, that's orbiting at 19 miles a second around a sun that is the source of all our power. This sun and our Earth with it, so it's reckoned, are moving at 1,000,000 miles a day, and an outer spiral arm at 40,000 miles an hour of the galaxy we call the Milky Way. This galaxy itself and our sun with it, and every other star that we can see, and 500,000 miles an hour is belting around the center of our Milky Galaxy. And our galaxy is only one of millions that's 100,000 light years side to side, all expanding outwards from each other at several thousand miles a second, so they never can collide. The universe itself keeps on expanding in all the directions it can whiz, as fast as it can go at the speed of light, at 12 million miles a minute, which is the fastest speed there is. So just remember, when you're feeling very small and insecure, your life itself is so unlikely on the planet of your birth. And just pray that there's intelligent life somewhere up in space, because there's bugger all down here on Earth. The ethereal and magical space animation goes away. Ends sharply. Interior suburban house composite day. Cut back to lady and first man in kitchen. Man in evening dress has just finished singing the song about the vastness of the universe.
Makes you feel so insignificant, doesn't it?
Can we have your liver then?
All right, you talked me into it.
Animation cut to animated commercial for the meaning of life underarm roll-on deodorants and other toilet requisites. Interior executive boardroom. Maybe half a dozen high-ranking executives are sitting around a very impressive boardroom table discussing the commercial they have just seen. Note, the dialogue will therefore be substantially different from what follows, but for the moment we'll leave this dialogue as is.
When you consider the vastness of the universe in relation to our project, it does seem to me.
Suppose for an interrogative at this moment in time.
Subtitle, can I ask something?
I have no problems in that area.
Subtitle, yes.
Well, my whole philosophy on this deal is that it is a whole other ballgame to interface with the vastness of the universe with our product at this moment in time. At this moment in time.
Subtitle, I think it's a mistake to compare our product with the vastness of the universe just now.
Yeah.
That the whole thrust of our campaign, from where I see it, should be to promote the image.
Subtitle, and that we should lie.
That our product is, in a matter of actual fact, vaster than the universe.
Subtitle, so that people think our product is bigger than the universe. There is a pause. The camera pans around the rather dumbfound faces of the executives. They glance uneasily from one to the other, muttering, yes, and nodding vigorously. Subtitle, he's talking bullshit.
Harry, now do you see what Max has just said from where you said?
Subtitle, Max is talking bullshit, isn't he, Harry? Subtitle, oh God, I knew you'd ask me. Subtitle, oh God, please don't let me say anything wrong or foolish.
Okay, Harry, take it easy now.
Subtitle, Harry, you're fired.
Can I come in there for a moment?
Subtitle, since you just fired Harry, how about giving me Harry's job?
Sure, if you really want to, Robert.
Subtitle, get lost, Robert. It's going to my nephew.
Well, I guess this is a whole new can of worms Max has opened up here, and in terms of ongoing situations, I would point out that the universe has vastly more exploitational potential than our product, so let's exploit it.
Subtitle, you bastard.
Right. I like your thinking there, Robert.
Subtitle, I think it's incredible that me, An escaped Nazi war criminal could still be around in 1982 and heading a major American corporation.
Why stop at one universe, sir?
Subtitle: Atlanta's burning. Don't you understand?
Yeah, let's think big. What's this one universe to a company like this? I mean, we have forward planning potential here, which could realize huge savings on a multi-universe deal.
Subtitle: What are you suddenly putting Gone with the Wind for, Jack? Suddenly, a drawer from a filing cabinet flies through the window, smashing the glass, and papers fly in all directions.
Jesus
Christ! Christ comes out of a cupboard. Yes?
No, we were just exclaiming.
Christ looks blank.
Using your name in vain.
Oh, yes, of course. Sorry. He withdraws. Another filing cabinet drawer smashes to the window.
What the?
They all gather around the two subjects. Suddenly, Harry taps the boss on the shoulder.
Mr. Chairman, sir, I know this sounds kind of silly, but, well, was that building here 6 minutes ago?
Subtitle: Oh, Rhett, darling Rhett, I've been so horrid to you. Harry nods to a window, and we see a building right up against it. He points to the window on the other side. They all turn to see another building approaching or sliding into position outside. Go. Suddenly, there is more smashing of glass behind them, and half a dozen elderly businessmen swing through the windows with swords in their teeth, much breaking of glass, etc.
Oh my God!
Cut to animation. God looks out of cloud.
Yes.
Interior executive boardroom day. Cut back to boardroom.
It's the Crimson Pearl Assurance!
Cut to titles. The Crimson Pearl Assurance. A tale of piracy on the high seas of finance. The following sequences mix animated models and live action. Terry G to supply. The accountancy shanty. I chartered an accountant at the age of 21.
Oh,
scribble away and balance the books and sing an accountancy shanty.
We'll
Cover you against fire and flood. Way ho, accountancy.
But
not riot, war, no act of God. Way ho, accountancy.
Over
A period of 20 years. Way ho, accountancy. Unless, of course, you're in the arrears. Way ho, and up your premiums. And now we're going to scroll past some amazing storyboards here. If anybody gets a chance to find this script who's watching this, track down these amazing storyboards. A lot of storyboards. A lot of storyboards. Terry Gilliam is crazy. Okay. End of the Crimson Pearl Assurance sequence. Long shot of buildings sailing off towards the horizon. They sail towards huge stone letters outlined against the sky, which read the meaning of life. The ships drop over the edge of the world. The letters rise up in space. Once against the black of space, they glow. Then a hatch opens and a little spaceship comes out and sign writes in a vapor trail, Part 5. Then a spaceman climbs out and nails up a hanging sign which reads, The Autumn Years. Exterior Elegant Street, day. Cut to an elegant street, most of which is taken up with Mr. Krasos, an enormously fat man. No, I mean much fatter than you were thinking just then. I mean, he is so fat that a certain amount of his stomach is propped on a small cart and wheeled around in front of him. His buttocks drag along the floor behind him. He enters a restaurant. Interior fish tank day. Cut back to the fish looking expectantly outwards.
Oh, shit! That's Mr. Creosote.
They all disappear with 5 flicks of the tail. Interior elegant restaurant day. Pull back from their tank into restaurant. Enter Mr. Creosote. He is greeted by the smiling maitre d'. It is a very well-heeled restaurant. A man tinkles away on a piano. He wears evening dress. Ah, good morning, sir. And how are we today?
Better.
Better?
Better get a bucket. I'm going to throw up.
Gascon, the bucket for monsieur. They seat him at his usual table. A gleaming silver bucket is placed beside him and he leans over and throws up into it. Isn't it awfully nice to have a penis? Isn't it frightfully good to have a dog? It's swell to have a stiffy, it's divine to own a dick, from the tiniest little tadger to the world's biggest prick. Never mind about the size of it, just make it hot and quick. So 3 cheers for your Willie, old John Thomas. Hooray for your one-eyed trouser snake. Your piece of pork, your wife's best friend, your Percy or your cock. You can wrap it up in ribbons, you can slip it in your sock. but don't take it out in public or they will stick you in the dock and you won't come back. The maitre d' claps his hands, and the bucket is whisked away.
I'm finished.
Oh, pardon, monsieur. 1,000 pardons.
He puts the bucket back. The maitre d' produces the menu as Mr. Creso continues spewing. We have Monsieur's favorite on the menu this afternoon. Jugged air. It is very high. And the sauce is very rich with truffles, brandy, and cream. Mr. Creso pauses. Maitre d' claps his hands and signs to Gascon. Whisks away the bucket.
There's still more.
Gascon rapidly replaces the bucket. Allow me a new bucket for Monsieur Gascon. Maitre d' picks the bucket up and hands it over to Gascon. Creso leans over and throws up into the floor. And the cleaning woman? Gascon hurries off. Maitre d' takes care to avoid the vomit and places the menu in front of Creso. And now would Monsieur care for an aperitif? Creso vomits over the menu. It is covered. Or would you prefer to order straight away? For the appetizers, we have, excuse me. Maitre d' leans over and wipes away the sick with his hands so that the words of the menu are readable. Moulet mariné, pâté de foie gras, eggs benedictine, tarte de poireaux, leek tart, or simply vegetable soup?
I'll have the lot.
A wise choice, monsieur. How would you like it? Mixed up in a bucket?
Yeah, with the eggs on top.
But of course, monsieur.
And don't skip on the pate.
Oh, I can assure you, monsieur, just because it is mixed up with the other things, we would not dream of giving you less than the full amount. In fact, I will personally make sure it is a double helping. And to drink?
3 bottles of red wine.
Very good. And the usual beers?
I think I can only manage 6 crates today.
I hope you have not been overdoing it last night, monsieur.
Shut up.
Ah, the new bucket and the cleaning woman. Gascon arrives. Cleaning woman gets down on hands and knees. Creso vomits over her. Cut to guests at another table getting up to go. Maitre d' approaches. Is there something wrong with the food, monsieur? Maitre d'
no.
indicates the table of, half-eaten main courses. The guests shrink from his vomit-covered hand. Maitre d' realizes and shakes a little off. It hits another guest who wipes his eye.
Oh no. It's excellent food.
Are you not happy with the service?
No. No. No complaints.
It's just that we have to go. I'm having a rather heavy period.
A slight embarrassed silence while the rest of the party look at her.
And we have a train to catch.
Oh yes, of course. We have a train to catch, and I don't want to start bleeding over the seats.
An awkward pause. Maitre d' gropes for words.
I think we should be off.
They start to go. Maitre d' follows. Very good, monsieur. I hope you will visit us again. He pauses, realizes he has trodden in Creso's bucket. I'm sorry. I've trodden in monsieur's bucket. They've gone. Maitre d' claps. Another bucket for monsieur. Creso is sick down Maitre d's trousers. And perhaps a hose. Someone at another table just gently throws up.
Max, really?
Then they look up. Someone else has really thrown up all over the place. Mr. Creso has gobbled a lot. Maitre d' offers Mr. Creso a wafer of thin mint. And finally, a wafer thin mint, sir?
No.
Oh, sir, just one tiny little thin one.
You fuck off, I'm full.
Sir, it's only wafer thin.
Look, I can't eat anymore. I'm absolutely stuffed. Now bugger off.
Oh, sir, just one.
All right, it's just one.
Just the one, sir. Mr. Creso somehow manages to stuff it into his mouth and then swallows. There's an ominous splitting sound. Mr. Creso looks rather helpless, and then he explodes, covering waiters, diners, and technicians in a truly horrendous mix of half-digested food, entrails, and parts of his body. Captioned The Meaning of Life, Part 6, Death. Interior elegant restaurant day. Cut back to the restaurant. The debris of Mr. Creso is still scattered over the room and diners. People are clearing themselves up as best they can. The 2 men from Liver Donor appear and spot Creso's liver. We'll have that. They disappear. The camera tracks in on the maitre d', who is standing by the ex-Mr. Creosote's table. The cleaning woman is still on her knees on the floor, and the maitre d' is still cleaning himself off as best he can. The maitre d' talks to the cleaning woman. Maria, I sometimes wonder whether we'll ever discover the meaning of it all working in a place like this. Maria looks around the restaurant and shrugs.
I've worked in worse places, philosophically speaking.
Really, Maria?
Oh, yes. Once I worked in the Académie Francois, but it never did me any good at all. And once I worked in the library of the Prado de Madrid, but it didn't teach me nothing, I recall.
At this point, she starts to get rather carried away and rises to her feet and relapses into rhetorical verse.
I once worked in the Hermitage in good old Leningrad, but any glimpse of institution there I never had. In Deutsch Baroque I've spent many busy days, but my memories of what I learned there are now just a haze. And the Library of Congress you'd have thought would hold some key, but it didn't, and neither did the Bodleian Library. In the old British Museum, I tried to find some clue. I worked there from 9 till 6, read every volume through, but never found out nothing about life's mystery. I just kept getting older, and it got more difficult to see, until eventually my eyes went, and me arthritis got bad, and so I'm cleaning up in here, but I can't be really sad. Because you see, I feel that life's a game. You sometimes win or lose, and though I may be down right now, at least I don't work for Jews.
The maitre d' pours the bucket over her head and turns to camera looking most upset. Oh, I'm so sorry. I did not know there was a racist amongst us. I do apologize most sincerely. Oh, Camera pans off the maitre d' and the lights on Gascon, who is standing there with a full bucket. He shrugs and looks at the camera.
As for me, if you want to know what I think, I'll show you something.
Exterior Elegant Street, day. He nods to the camera and walks out of the restaurant, and the camera follows him. Exterior town streets. He walks through the town. His trouser leg and shoe is still covered in sick. Exterior suburban streets. He walks through the suburbs. Exterior country roads. He walks through the country. The countryside gets more and more idyllic. Exterior thatched cottage. Eventually, Gascon comes over a hill and nods down to a little thatched cottage. Smoke rises up from the chimney.
See that? That's where I was born. One day when I was little, my mother took me on her knee and said, "The world is a beautiful place, Gascon, my son. You must go into it and love everyone and not hate people. Try to make everyone happy and bring peace and contentment wherever you go." So I became a waiter.
There is a rather long pause while he looks a bit self-deprecating and nods shyly at the camera.
Well, it's not much of a philosophy, I know, but, well, fuck you. I can live my life the way I want, can't I?
2 exterior dark streets. Close-up terrified face of man running down darkened street. Footsteps running behind can be heard. Wider shot, man rushes along the street and disappears around a corner. Closer shot, man runs terrified towards camera.
This man is about to die. In a few moments now, he will be killed.
Different angle, he is racing flat out down a dusky street.
For Arthur Jarrett is a convicted criminal who has been allowed to choose the manner of his own execution.
Different angle. Round the corner after Arthur Jarrett come a crowd of nude ladies in pursuit. They wear little cheerleader boots and little else, knee and elbow pads and helmets. 2 more shots of the chase, plus closer shots of girls running towards camera. They chase him viciously. Exterior beach. Widest shot, a group of people standing around a grave. A prison governor, a padre, prison officers, some civilians, a doctor, and some Japanese tourists. Exterior streets. More shots of the chase. The women are closing. Arthur Jarrett is gasping. The girls are inexorable, and superb Nick, obviously. Exterior beach. Back to grave. The governor is reading.
Arthur Jarrett, you have been convicted by 12 good persons and true of the crime of first-degree making of gratuitous sexist jokes in a moving picture.
Exterior cliff. 3 more shots of the chase. They are within 5 yards of him. Suddenly, we see they are approaching a cliff's edge. Arthur Jarrett runs over it. The girl is expertly pulling up in time. Exterior beach. Graveside. The crowd looks up. Arthur Jarrett soars down into the grave. Padre starts the final prayer as he throws a handful of sand onto the grave. The heads go down. Exterior cliff. Back on the cliff, the girls are being given Max from a police van. Exterior beach. Graveside. Arthur Jarrett's tombstone reads, Arthur Jarrett, sexist pig, executed June 20th, 1982. The sea suddenly washes over this and leads us into the leaves animation. Cut to exterior countryside, dusk. A seventh sealed chunk of countryside. Bare, windswept trees starkly silhouetted against the, Lots of good sound effects, too. Howling wind, howling dogs, howling saber-toothed field mice. Suddenly, we see the Grim Reaper. He is hooded in a black cloak with a sackcloth jockstrap and bearing a scythe. We follow his progress. After a few moments, during which he passes various Bosch Gilliam sites, he approaches a house which we must be able to take for medieval. He comes to the door, pauses, and knocks. Another pause. He starts to knock again. The door opens. Exterior cottage, dusk. We see a fleshy, pallid city gent type in a suit. From inside the house come the sounds of a dinner party. The city gent stands in the doorway. His name is Jeffrey.
Yes.
Pause. The Reaper breathes death rattlingly.
About the hedge.
More breathing.
Look, I'm awfully sorry, but
I am the Grim Reaper.
who?
The Grim Reaper!
Yes, I see.
I am Death.
Yes, well, the thing is, we've got a rather important dinner party on tonight. People from America.
Jeffrey's wife, Angela, is coming to see who's at the door. She calls.
Who is it, darling?
It's Mr. Death or something about the reaping. Look, I don't think we need any at the moment.
Oh, hello. Don't keep him on the doorstep, Jeffrey. Ask him in.
Darling, I don't think it's quite the moment.
Do come in, please. Come in and have a drink, too.
Interior cottage, dusk. She turns and walks back into the living area. Jeffrey and Grim Reaper follow.
It's one of the little men from the village. Come on in. This is Howard Katzberg from Philadelphia.
Hi.
And his wife, Debbie.
Hello.
And these are the Portland Smiths, Jerry and Fiona. This is Mr. Death.
How do you do?
Hello. Good evening.
There is a slightly awkward pause.
Well, get Mr. Death a drink, darling.
The Grim Reaper looks a little startled as the husband moves to do so.
Mr. Death is a reaper.
The Grim Reaper.
Not surprising when it's cold.
You still reap around here, do you, Mr. Death?
I am the Grim Reaper.
That's about all he says. There's your drink, Mr. Death. We were just talking about this awful business in Guatemala.
Oh, do sit down.
Tilton. It's awfully good.
Grim Reaper knocks the glass off the table, startled silence.
Would you prefer white? I'm afraid we don't have any beer.
I am not of this world.
He walks into the middle of the table, cries of surprise. Some of them leap to their feet.
Lord.
Jesus Christ. Pause. The penny is beginning to drop.
I am Death.
You mean?
Long pause.
Yes.
Oh, isn't that extraordinary? I mean, we were just talking about death only 5 minutes ago.
Mhm.
Yes, we were. You know, whether death is really the end. My husband
Okay.
believes, for example, whether there is, well, one hates to use words like soul or spirit. They're so hackneyed.
Yes, but what other words can...
Exactly.
You do not understand.
Oh, of course not, obviously.
But we're absolutely fascinated.
Here, here.
Let me tell you something, Mr. Death.
You do not understand.
Just one moment. I want to express on behalf of everyone here what a unique opportunity this is.
Here, here.
And I mean this most sincerely.
We're so delighted you dropped in. Do please.
Can I just finish one moment?
Mr. Death, is there an afterlife?
Dear, if you could just wait.
Are you sure you wouldn't like to
Angela, allow me just to say this.
I have something to tell you all.
Can I just say this at this time?
Shut up. I have come for you.
Pause as this sinks in. Sidelong glances, a stifled fart.
Huh? You mean?
Hey, this is my purpose. I am dead.
That's rather cast a gloom over the evening, hasn't it?
Now let's just talk about this a moment. Let me just say this to you most sincerely at this time.
Shut up, you American. You always talk, you Americans. You do nothing but talk, and say, let me tell you something, and I just want to say this. Well, you're dead now, so shut up.
Dead?
Shut up. All of you dead.
All of us?
Look, how can all of us have died at the same time?
The salmon moose.
Oh, goggle.
Darling, you didn't use tinned salmon.
Oh, I'm dreadfully embarrassed.
So now you must all follow me.
They start to rise from the table.
The fishmonger promised me he'd have some fresh salmon, but
Now just look here. I mean, you just barge in here quite uninvited. You knock over glasses and then you announce quite casually that we're all dead. Well, I would remind you that you are a guest in this house and...
Suddenly, Jeffrey can't speak anymore. He holds his throat as the Grim Reaper points at him.
Silence. You English, you're so fucking pompous.
Jeffrey is released from the spell. He suddenly runs forward with a revolver. He looses 6 shots at the Grim Reaper from about 3 feet. They pass through him. Pause. Everyone is rather embarrassed.
Sorry. Just checking. Sorry.
Come.
Can we bring our glasses?
He turns and goes towards the front door. The guests follow, some of them grabbing a last slice of cheese or filling up their glasses. Exterior cottage, dusk. From the exterior, they appear following the Grim Reaper. We hear their voices faintly above the howling of the grass.
Shall we take our cars?
I have to say that's a pretty damn good idea in my book. I remember when I was in Paris one time. Cut to the Grim Reaper dancing along the skyline, followed by Volvos, Porsches, and Jensens. Death suddenly stops. There is a very, very mild multiple pileup. We hear murmured apologies, and they get out and examine the dents. Suddenly, we see Death ascending into the sky. The others get back into their cars and start to follow after them, up into the sky. The cars follow Death up, and eventually disappear into the clouds. There is more bumping, hooting, and apologies. Eventually, the cars appear, rather battered, and drive down the heavenly freeway. It finishes in midair, and ahead is a glowing brightness. The cars drive towards the dazzling brightness, and eventually all is lost in brightness. Interior hotel lobby. Cut to big close-up of receptionist.
Hello. Welcome to heaven. Could you just sign this, please, sir?
She gives a host a form. We see we are in the American Hotel.
Oops.
Didn't think you'd get here, Reggie.
Oh, excuse me, sir. Everybody gets to heaven. It's hell that's difficult to get into. Boy, do they have a wild time there.
Forms are filled in.
Thank you, sir. Your table's over there. Happy Christmas.
Is it Christmas too?
Of course, sir. It's Christmas every day in heaven.
Interior restaurant day. They start for their table in the restaurant, not the Hawaiian Dungeon restaurant, but another. And as they do so, the floor show starts. It's going to turn to a big production number with the Tony Bennett characters singing and more barely clad showgirls a la Crazy Horse Paris, dancing in the chorus line. Eventually, sleigh bells sound and snow starts to fall. During the number, we cut away to some of the tables and watch the family listening happily. We also see the Hendies. We also see all the cheeky cockneys from the Zulu raid, terribly mutilated, a head on a table, but all looking very happy. Also the liver donor gent with his inside on the table. In another corner are a naked man stuck around with arrows, a young lady on a Catherine wheel, and a chap with a lion. These are the Christian martyrs. Song Christmas in Heaven to be sung by Andy Williams, Frank Sinatra / Tony Bennett with the King's College Choir and the Crazy Horse Showgirls. It's Christmas in heaven, all the children sing. Fish. It's Christmas in heaven, hark those church bells ring. It's Christmas in heaven, the snow falls from the sky, but it's nice and warm and everyone looks smart and wears a tie. The snow starts to fall, the bells ring as we go into a light entertainment close-up on the singer. It's Christmas in heaven, there's great films on TV. The Sound of Music twice an hour and Jaws 1, 2, and 3. Celebrity Squares has Brando on, the game shows offer more. And all the clips on Disney Time have never been seen before. It's Christmas in heaven, you can drink all day, fish for some reason. And if it's your time of the month, girls, it'll go away. You don't spend a penny because this is heaven here, though you can still get huge discounts of all spirits, wines, and beers. There's fish for all the family, toiletries and trains, Sony Walkman fish phone sets, and the latest video games. It's Fishmas in heaven, you're home with God, and lots of dace and carp and bream and halibut and cod. So all good things to everyone, that's all we have to say, because there are fish in heaven and it's Christmas every day. Bells ring, snow falls, Father Christmas gives out lots of presents and handles some of the dancers' bosoms. The finale plays and there's a grand walk down as everyone applauds. First of all, the singer and the chorus girls come down the sparkly magical steps and bow. Then some of the other characters from the film come down and take their bow. All the children from the working class Catholics, the mom and dad, the Protestant couple, Martin Luther, everyone involved in Verkade Newton. The hearing aid sketch are represented by an equity observer, the doctors from the hospital, the headmaster and his wife, the soldiers from Clock, the RSM, the British Army expert and the French lady, Kenneth Kendall, Robert Redford, Clint Eastwood and Julie Andrews, Mr. Creosote. They've all been led by the Grim Reaper in each case. By now, we've started to roll the end credits, and as we do so, the Grim Reaper brings up all the members of the unit as they are named. The camera crew, props, makeup, wardrobe, behind the scenes, transport, the studio bosses, the office, the producer, etc., etc. Eventually, we come to the last title, Finn, a fish film. Interior studio day. A clock appears in the bottom left-hand corner. After 20 seconds, we cut to pythons wearing nothing except two huge 2-foot-long penises, peni. Fade. Fade up a roller caption. The producers would like to thank all of the fish who have taken part in this film. We hope that other fish will follow the example of those who have participated, so that in future fish all over the world will live together in harmony and understanding, and put aside their petty differences, cease pursuing and eating each other, and live for a brighter, better future for all fish and those who love them. Thank you. And I guess that's the end of the movie, everybody. So thanks for watching this slightly different version of Monty Python's The Meaning of Life, and goodbye.